my lovelies, and hello this bird. Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So if you hear birds outside, it's because I have my window open right now because it's such nice weather, but there's this one bird that keeps making this noise over and over. So anyway, today I'm going to be doing a thrift flip video, and I've been really wanting to get back into the thrift stores. I want to encourage more reusing and putting into smaller specific brands that are just what you want to represent. And speaking of, some of you guys might recognize what I'm wearing today, but it's my first sample piece for my clothing line, which is going to be called the Tia Boutique. And this is my lovelies sweatshirt. This is not it yet. I'm going to change the color of pink just slightly. I put the logo up a little higher, change a few little details, and then I will be ready to launch and sell you guys my very first clothing piece. It's so exciting. And I'm going to do lots of other designs and pieces later on because I have tons of fashion designs all saved up that I've always wanted to create. So anyway, I'm really excited to do today's video because someone just recently requested that I do more DIYs, so here you go, and let's get right into it. Okay, we just got here. Now it is time to go on a treasure hunt. I'm mostly just looking for pretty fabrics and textures. Not really fit right now since I'll be redoing them. This is actually pretty cute. Ooh, I love this texture. Okay, got the stuff from our first stop. I'm going to one more thrift store that's local. So we are back with the haul, and what originally got me so excited about doing this video was this cardigan that I got not too long ago from the thrift store, and it had ugly buttons, and so I replaced them with these cute heart buttons, and I'm not doing anything with buttons today, so I just wanted to show you guys that even if something has ugly buttons, it's a really easy thrift flip. As for what I got, this one is a really basic thrift flip that I'm gonna do. It's just kind of like an old lady top, but I love the embroidery and the florals, and I think I'm just gonna crop it to make it look a little bit more youthful. These pink pants, they're totally 90s pants, and they're low cut, which I haven't owned a pair of low cut pants in forever, but I feel like these look really cute. They're just a little bit big in my waist, but they fit everywhere else. So I'm going to show you guys how I make the waist of these pants a little bit smaller. These pants I bought in hopes of just wearing as is, but since they're not allowing anyone to try anything on right now, it didn't get to, and it turns out it's way too tight on the thighs and butt area for me, so I'm going to be turning this into a crop top. This skirt I found, and it's kind of this wool pink kind of suit blazer type material, and I love the skirt. It fits me really well, but what I want to do with it is crop it, not that short, like sort of short, and use the excess material to make this into a two-piece set. This one is going to be another same type situation as the skirt, but I'm just going to make two shirts out of it. I want this to be cropped, and then with this extra, I want to make like a summery piece because I love that like mix of wintry fabrics into summery pieces, so I think it's going to be really pretty. And I'm going to make sure I don't crop this top initial part too short because I've done that before and that sucked. And last but not least, we have this purple floral nightgown shirt thing. It has a ton of fabric, like absolutely just a ton, and it was only like $4, so I'm really excited to make maybe some little pieces out of this, maybe like a skirt or some shorts with a little ruffly crop top. I kind of want to make one that's like a little sweetheart shape, kind of like one I saw from For Love and Lemons. I also found these two little bits that don't need anything done to them. This is from Tahini, and it's so soft. And then the skirt is from BCBG, and they were both really inexpensive, like $7 and $6 I think, but there are so many great finds that don't need to be flipped as well. Okay, so this is my inspiration for the crop top I'm going to make out of the blue pants. My first step is really simple. I'm just going to do one stitch across here. That way that can just be the back seam of the crop top, and I have this two little flaily ends to work with for the front. Once the seam is sewn where you want it, then just cut off the excess fabric, and that will make the back seam of the shirt. And next we are going to work on the little twist design in the front. First thing I did was sew the little cinch in the front, as you can see here, and then I'm going to attach the other part of the fabric to the back of the top, just sewing on the first layer of fabric so it doesn't show through to the other side. So now that I have my little loop, I'm just going to thread the other piece through it and work on getting the clasp attached. First, I'm just going to fold this over and sew this so it's a little bit more finished, and then sew the clasp to the end of it. And then I'm just putting the other part of the clasp on the inside of the shirt so I can hook it underneath. Now I'm just going to cut all the fabric pieces for the sleeves, and I took them and ironed them the way that I want the design to lay. And since I didn't have long enough strips, I ended up just sewing 4 pieces together to make the 2 straps. I then marked on the shirt where I wanted the sleeves to go, and then I sewed them on with the sewing machine. So even though the pants didn't work out, I'm really glad that the top did, and I really love it, and the fit, and the little twist detail, even though it's an unconventional way of closing it. It's also very convenient, and it's so soft. I loved the material of those pants, so I'm glad I could still turn it into something I can wear. It's very me, but at the same time it's a new color, so I'm excited. And it's also fun to wear something that you've made. This is the first one, and there are a few more at the end. Also, let me know which of the thrift flips was your favorite, and let's get into the next one. So starting off the next transformation, I'm trying the shirt on first, that way I can place pins for the length in the front and the back. And I'm just going to measure to make sure both sides are even before I cut across. And I'm going to cut both the front and the back separately since I did slightly different lengths. First, we're going to be working with the little piece of fabric and making a crop top out of it. I'm just cutting down one of the seams, that way I can lay it out flat. That other seam is going to be the back, and I took a measurement from the middle of my back to my sides, and that is just what I'm measuring on the piece, that way I know where to make a cut. And then I'm just pinning the bottom up a little bit so I can make the finished edge, and also folding the other parts of the fabric up for reasons that you will see later. And once I tried it on a couple times, I went ahead with the scissors and then also sewed the bottom edge. Then I proceeded to hand sew all around the other edges, which did take me a while. But now that it's all done, you can see how I'm going to create the crisscross design. I also decided I didn't like the look of the top trim, so I folded that down and sewed it. Next, I just used safety pins to try on the top and pin where it needed to be sewn on, and then I used the sewing machine to do the rest. I did that for both sides, and then I just closed up the little openings in the front. The next part are the straps, or the sleeves, and I'm just going to use a mishmash of all the extra scrap pieces of fabric to make these. Once I sewed the edges to match up the thickness of the 2 pieces, I just sewed them together to make them long enough. And then attach them to the crop top to try on. Once I fitted the straps to where they should go with the safety pins, I sewed them on with the sewing machine. So here it is on, and it turned out so cute, and I love the fit and the style and the fact that it's pink knit. It's so pretty, and I just discovered after doing the whole sewing of this one that there's like a stitch for stretch fabric, so I went over some of the most important seams with the better stitch than just a straight stitch. So I'm learning all about making clothes through this whole process, but I really love the way this one turned out, and I'm so excited about it. And for the top part of the shirt, I'm just going to be finishing off the edge seam just to make it into a finished crop top. Oh my gosh, okay, so this was totally unplanned for, but I ended up getting these super cute little ripply ruffles from the Stitch, and I am obsessed with the way it turned out. I had no idea it was gonna do that, I'm being totally honest, but it ended up looking so cute and like it just came straight out of a boutique. I am so into it, even more than if it was just like a straight cut crop top. But yeah, again, I'm learning with cutting things the right length. This ended up being a really good length, and I'm so happy and excited about this one because of the unforeseen happy mistake. This next one is just a little crop project, so first I've got to try it on and then place my pins for the length. And then I'm cutting across one layer at a time for the different lengths that I set for the front and the back. Now all that's left to do is turn it inside out, pin it up, try it on one more time, and then sew the bottom seam. So it ended up being the perfect length, and I owe that to testing putting my arms up while I was sizing and pinning and stuff, because I hate it when I crop things and then find out later I can't even reach for something. But this ended up being the perfect length, and it's so cute, and I was also so proud of the fact that I had a thread color that matched almost perfectly, because we have a Pandora's box of thread in the craft room. It's awesome, but I really love the way it turned out. It's so cute and vintage, and I love the embroidery and the kind of pastel dusty green color. But yeah, I love this piece more than I even thought I would. So next is the project with these pants to make the waist a little bit smaller, and I just start by doing a little cut on either side of the back waistband, not all the way through. And then I'm going to use a safety pin to thread elastic through the back, and then pin it and try it on just like that, and then adjust it as needed. Next, I'm just going to sew the elastic in place inside the back waistband, and that is it. So now the pants fit so much better in the back, and it actually doesn't have a gap anymore, though it does have the little cinch. It's a really good alternative to when you really like a pair of pants that are just a little bit too big, but now I really love them, and they're so 90s and cute, so I'm really happy with them. So starting right into the last one, which is this nightgown with the pretty floral. First, I'm going to cut off the amount I need for the skirt on the bottom, and then with the upper half, I'll make the crop top. I'm going to cut both layers of the fabric into the sweetheart shaped top because I'm going to make it double lined. And since there's a little bit of pocket, I'll cut that off, and then I'll just use that side as the inside. Now I'm going to turn it inside out and pin it along the top to sew together. And once the top edge is sewn, look at how nice and pretty it looks whenever it's double lined. Now to cut the bottom edge, and I'm just going to kind of mirror the sweetheart shape along the bottom as well. And cut the sides open so I can turn it inside out once I sew the bottom. But first I need to pin it. So now that both the top and the bottom are put together, I just need to turn it right side out, and it's already looking so cute. Now we are going to do the same thing with another section of fabric for the back of the shirt. I just need to make sure that the thickness is the same as the ends of the top so they match up whenever I sew the sides. I used the pins I put in it as guides when sewing, and then I also double checked it halfway. Then I cut one of the sides open so I could turn it right side out again. And next I tried it on inside out and safety pinned it to how I wanted it to fit. And I used this handy stitch that is made for actual stretch fabric instead of just using my usual straight stitch, which was a revelation. Now that I have my little top done, I placed some pins where I want the straps to connect and cutting up some lace to use for the straps. I'm just going to hand stitch these on. Now for the skirt, I'll get out the fabric that I set aside and place some pins where the sides of my waist are so I can form the front of the skirt. And then for the back, I'm laying on another piece of fabric on top of that, and I'm also making it slightly longer as the back of a skirt should be. And then I just safety pinned it together at the waist so I could try it on for fit. Once everything was set, I just sewed straight down from the waist to the corners. The fit was perfect, but the sides were too long, so I just undid the existing bottom seam and ironed it flat so I could make the adjustments. I measured for the sides to be the same length as the front of the skirt, and I pinned it up before sewing the corners. I actually left the rest of the edges raw because this fabric doesn't fray and I will be putting lace trim on all the edges. Hindsight, I realized I could have just cut the corners too. Once this was done, all that there was left to do was sew on the lace trim on the bottom. So here's this one, and I'm probably the most happy with how this one turned out. I think it is so cute and it's very comfy, mostly just because I was able to fit this perfectly to my waist, and I'm so excited. I love the way the top fits as well, and I was able to make it double lined because I had enough fabric. So this one was a full success. Took a little bit of work extra on the skirt, but it was so worth it. And I decided not to do anything to this pink skirt because I was trying it on, deciding what I wanted to do to it, and I realized I really just liked it how it is. So like I was saying before, not everything from the thrift store needs to be flipped, so I'm just going to keep this one as a midi skirt and probably wear it in the fall, and I just think it's really cute and didn't want to regret cutting it up or something. So maybe someday I'll turn it into a two-piece set if I really feel like it, but for now I'm just going to keep it as a midi skirt. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's thrift flip DIY. If you do any thrift flips, definitely send them to me or DM me on Instagram. I'll be sure to repost them because I just love seeing what you guys do, inspired by my videos. And also leave me a comment down below or let me know which one was your favorite look. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also check out my clothing line Instagram as well. I'll be updating you guys on that through there. But anyway, love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.